Good morning, madam. Can you able to hear me, madam?
Yes.
Okay, madam.
Yes, sir.
I came as an examiner, madam. So I'm joining here from Kannur,
Okay.
which is around 2 hours from our college.
Okay.
And all UG and PG students and all staff will be joining the program within short span of time.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Akash, sir, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can, sir. One second, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Good morning to all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of National College of Pharmacy, who has clubbed us for this Impact Lecture sessions sponsored by MOE's Innovation Cell, AICTE, New Delhi. Let's begin this first session of Impact Lessons with a prayer song.
നല്ലൊരു ക്രിസ്ത്യനായി ഹിന്ദുവായി ഈശ്വര നിന്നതഗാനങ്ങൾ പാടുന്ന പുല്ലാങ്കുഴലായി മാറ്റുവെന്നെ മതൻ പൂമണം പാലിൽ പരത്തുന്ന പൂമരമായി എന്നെ മാറ്റിടേനെ.
S. Kadirve, IIC President, National College of Pharmacy, for the introductory speech.
Thank you, Anjana. Thank you very much. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, yes. Good morning and hearty greetings to all of you. On behalf of National College of Pharmacy, I, Dr. S. Kadirvel, IAC President of National College of Pharmacy, extend a very warm welcome to all of you for this Impact Lecture Series sponsored by MOE Innovation Cell, AICT, New Delhi. National College of Pharmacy is a prominent institution of higher learning in Malabar with close to a quarter century of history. Tucked into rural outskirts of Kozhikode, NCP is strategically located in the reformist state of Kerala. This Impact Lecture Series is methodically structured and designed to teach students, provide information about innovation, entrepreneurship, a concept related to intellectual property rights, and also to nurture students to come up with new thoughts and innovation. We are extremely fortunate to have amidst us a towering personality of today's session. Our first speaker is Professor Dr. Jyoti Chandwini Madam from Vivekananda Education Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai, Maharashtra. And our second speaker will be Mr. Safiq, a technical officer from Kerala Science Department of Science and Technology, Trivandrum, Kerala. So before going to this session, I'd like to give a small introduction about IAC, Institution Innovation Council, which we have started in our National College of Pharmacy has established Institution Innovation Council in August 2021. And I like to point out a few achievements that we have made in IAC. So we got a rank, a star rating of 1 out of 2, which was released by IAC yesterday. That was our first achievement. That was our first achievement of getting a star 1 rating, which was released by MIC, Institution Innovation Council of Ministry of Health, Central Government of India. So totally 3,700 institutions in India have registered, have established IIC. So out of that, 1,300 colleges have done work. Among all these 1,300, ranking has been given, and we got a star 1 rating out of star 2. And that was our first achievement, which we have got it from National College of Pharmacy as far as IIC is concerned. And second achievement which we got is we got sponsorship from MIC, that is the AICT, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education Innovation Council, of 12,000 rupees grant for conducting 4 lecture series. Today, 2 lecture series, and after 10 days there will be another lecture series. That was we considered as the second milestone in our IIC. And third achievement is we have got IPR awareness program center in our college, which we are going to conduct on July 12th. So our National College of Pharmacy is a center for conducting IPR awareness program in Malabar region of Kerala. So that will be scheduled on July 12th. That is IPR awareness program. The resource person funding will be given by MIC, that is Ministry of Education Innovation Council, Central Government of India. So that will be an online program. And Dr. Karthik from Patent Office from Chennai will be the resource person. So these are all the 3 achievements that we have done within 1 year, not even 1 year. This August 2021 will be, 1 year, we'll be completing 1 year. So within 10 months, we have achieved 3 milestones. First is the rating. Next is a sponsorship from Government of India, 12,000. Though fund is less, we hope we will achieve more funds in the near future. And third is IPR awareness program, which is scheduled on July 12th next month. So at this juncture, I like to acknowledge AICT, MOU, Ministry of Education Innovation Council, for sponsoring us this event. Last but not the least, I like to thank our principal, Dr. Sujit Verma sir, who is always behind us, our team, to boost us and to encourage us. Though I was in not in a good condition, he always encouraged in good condition in the sense sometimes I may feel we are not getting any rating or we are not getting any ranking. So sir is the one who always push up our team to work hard. So without him, it would have not been achieved. And then also I like to congratulate all my colleagues, my team members, Serena and Akhil Hari and all. And of course, our vice principal, Dr. Akash, who is always there to support us as far as technical work is concerned. And all my colleagues of NCP, I like to congratulate them. And I like to that is without the support and encouragement, nothing will happen. So I wish all the participants a very pleasant, fruitful and brainstorming experience in this event of learning. And thank you very much for giving them this opportunity, and thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Sujit Verma, Principal, National College of Pharmacy, to deliver the presidential address.
A warm good morning to all. I'm very much happy that the IIC is flourishing because this particular event itself is a sign of that the government has recognized our effort in developing the innovation and entrepreneurship among the students as well as the faculty. Yesterday, we found that the IIC of our institution has got good rating, score 1 out of 2, which is not so, which is very good in the initial stage. And I hope that this particular event, it will be further taken up in a higher level and get a good rating in a 5-star level, so that the IIC can have its own stand in the institute, and it will be a better opportunity for the students as well as the faculty. And today we have the talk by Dr. Jyoti, Associate Dean, Vivekananda Institute, Maharashtra. The topic is innovation, prototype, validation, converting innovation into a startup. Actually, this particular topic is need of the hour, because getting an idea is very easy. How to make that idea into reality is the major concern among the innovators and entrepreneurs. So I hope this particular talk will completely clear all the doubts in this particular aspect. Thank you, Kadirvel, and the entire IIC team for giving me an opportunity to speak. I wish the IIC team a good success and come up with more rating and grants from the government. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to welcome Mr. Akhil Hari, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, National College of Pharmacy, for the biographical sketch of our chief guest.
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Jyoti Chandwani, Professor and Associate Dean, Academics, Vivekanand Education Society Institute of Management Studies and Research. She has done her PhD from Sardar Vallabhai Institute of Technology. She is a teaching enthusiast with a experience of over 15 years in academics and 4 years in industry, and with a strong sense for spirituality. She has also specialized in design thinking, entrepreneurship, research methodology, and human resource. She has several awards and research papers to her credit in the field of women entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. Some of the important awards include 20 Most Influential Women in Academics 2021 and Best Professor in HR Management. Her take on emotional and spirituality integrated education help students to realize their ultimate potential while maintaining overall sanity. We are honored to have you with us today, madam.
Pleasure is mine, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Chief guest, Professor Dr. Jyoti Chandwani, Associate Dean, Academics, Vivekanand Education Society's Institute of Management Studies and Research, Mumbai, for our first session. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am and sir, for the brief introduction. Sat, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I'll just share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes.
First of all, let me take this opportunity to express my gratitude to respected principal, Dr. Sujita Verma, for inviting me for this topic on innovation, prototype validation, converting innovation into a startup. It's my privilege to be a part of the National College of Pharmacy and addressing these students. I would also like to express my gratitude to the Vice Principal, Dr. Akash, to IIC President, Dr. Kadirvel, for connecting me and inviting me for this session. Thank you so much. So we'll start this session. Before starting, like as our principal sir had said, right, validation, like we've got many ideas. Like this generation is dreaming with, creativities, innovations, ideas. But it is important to convert that idea into a business or a startup or a prototype, you can see, before prototyping, and moving to the final startup. Right. So before moving to the main topic of validation, how can you convert the idea into a prototyping or a business? We'll start with the basic, like what exactly is creativity and innovation? Because immediately if I start what is validation, maybe some of the students, because I'm not aware, you all have studied entrepreneurship, have you done the basic course? Are you aware about the topics related to entrepreneurship? So it would be not justified if I suddenly jump to validation part of Blue Ocean and what is strategy canvas. So to bring you to that page, I thought, let me start with the basic, right? Maybe we can start with creativity and innovation, and then gradually we'll move to the process of, business model, idea generation, business model, and then finally coming up to the validation, which is the last step of the prototype. We'll talk about creativity versus innovation. So, what is creativity? Creativity is something related to imagination. Not just sitting over here as a student when you're listening to this session. Maybe some things would be going to your mind, right? Let me do this thing. This is something good. This is something bad. So something creativity is related to your imagination. And for imagination, we don't have any charges. There is no process is required. There is no money consumption. It's something related to new. You think something, maybe this is possible, that is possible. We would have never imagined that we can, aeroplanes, there could be something called as aeroplane, and humans could go there. There would be something called a spaceship, right? You can go to the different planets. You can go, travel from one country to another, so we would have never imagined that. But there would be someone who would have believed in that, would have thought about that, would have definitely imagined over there. I'm sorry, because I need to keep on admitting people. I don't know why. Yeah. So that is creativity. Maybe Einstein, when he first started his innovation journey, before that he must have imagined, if I could do this thing, if this is possible, that is possible. So that is the first step. Whatever you imagine is called as creativity. And when those imagination is converted into a reality, into a product, into a service, is called as innovation. So innovation, definitely it's a productive outcome. Yes, money is required. It's something new, right? And risk, definitely there is a risk involved. So the example we can say over here is the creation of traveling could be of a motorcycle is a creativity, but the actual invention is innovation. So we can say creation leads to creativity and invention leads to innovation. Talking about the three eyes of innovation, there's something inside. Inside means something you think about. Okay, this is the problem, this is the thing, if this is possible, that is possible, and that lead to an idea. And when that idea, you generate an idea, and then finally you think about the impact. Impact means, if I come up with this such product or service, what would be the impact on the society? What would be the impact on the generation? What would be the impact overall? So that is the three eyes of innovation. Yes, definitely. It's not that I think about an idea. I think about an idea, and immediately I plan up, and I come up with my innovation. Today an idea comes to my mind. I think about it, and suddenly tomorrow I go to the incubation center and I start doing experimenting it. No. Before that, we have to understand. They say D, F, and V. These are the three important part of innovation. First thing is desirability. We need to understand whatever is the problem I've identified. Right now, let's assume, in between, I need to admit student and all this thing. So maybe I think about an idea. Okay, let me come up with an app where, students automatically get admitted. I don't have to stop in between and admit the students. Or I don't have to change the screen. Some app, I just speak out and, that screen comes up, something pops up, something. So I need to understand, is it desirable? Is it really required? It's because I am thinking this should be this is a problem, doesn't mean everyone is facing that problem. So you need to understand there's a desirability is there is a need for this product. Okay, now let's assume I think, okay, I've identified there's need of this product. Then is it possible to make that product? Feasibility. Do I have that money? Do I have that resources? Do I have that technology? Do I have that funds to make that product? Okay, now I said, I gave you the example of this app. Now I need to understand, do I have that knowledge to make that app? If I don't have the knowledge, then I would be thinking to outsource it. So do I have that money to outsource that? Such technology is available over here in India, or I need to outsource to the other country. Do I have that fund for that? Do I have the resources? Do I have the permissions for that? So I need to understand. It's not only I desire something and I make it up. I need to understand the resources. Resources are the most important part, right? Because everything is based on cost. End of the day, when you make something and when you're going to sell in the market, a cost is involved, and you're expecting profits also. So feasibility is again the next important step to understand whatever I'm desiring is feasible or not. Now let's assume we desire, okay, this is the problem I've identified and this is the possible product or solution or the services could be there. Okay, I have the money, I have the resources, I can manage, I can do bootstrapping, I can take fund from, angel investors are there, I can take money from there. But now talks about the most important part, it is profitable or not. Let's assume I make an app, or like the Google Glasses example. Google Glasses being such a giant company, even Google Glasses was a failure because it was, there were other parameters also, but one of the major reasons was it was very expensive. Now, suppose I come up with a technology. Let's assume students over there, they feel like every day they have to carry laptops, they have to carry books. So let's design maybe a watch, a smart watch, which has a Kindle inbuilt also, which takes the attendance, which does the biometric, so you just pick up the watch and you talk, so and just so when you leave your house, instead of carrying that heavy bag and everything, you're just wearing your smartwatch. Everything is there. Just let's assume I identify, because I'm teaching, so I identify this as a problem. Or maybe students, you all are sitting, you identify in Mumbai, you have to travel by local trains and all this thing, you have to carry heavy bags in your reins and all this thing. So let's assume you plan, okay, let's come up with such a smart watch which has got everything inbuilt. Okay, now that watch, the cost of that watch comes out to, let's assume 70,000-80,000 rupees. And when you sell into the market, definitely you will add some profit and you're selling to 1 lakh rupee. Now I need to understand, is it profitable? How many customers would I get if I sell that watch of 1 lakh rupee? Hardly 100, 200 customers. So is it profitable? So all these three things are interconnected whenever you're going for your prototyping, or whenever you're going for the validation, or whether you're going for, really this, I should really continue this, my idea or the problem you have identified. We say problem identification also, we say ideation also, right? So you really need to understand, you really need to take a pause, you really need to think, is it desirable, is it feasible, or is it viable? So this leads to the concept of design thinking, which we are not going to do today. Maybe some other day if principal sir invites me. Like from problems. So I've identified a problem, and then it leads to a solution. So there's a process which goes on. So there's a 5-stage process of design thinking. You try to empathize with someone, some problem. Like I empathize. Yeah, I've empathized with the student, like they have to carry the heavy bags, right? So this is called as empathize stage. Define, then I'll come back to the incubation center, and then I'll design, I'll frame the problem statement, what exactly the problems are. Students are facing the problems of carrying heavy laptops, heavy books, pen, paper, everything, So what exactly, like I need to understand. So I'll define it. I'm really sorry, this is again and again popping up. Yeah. And I'll think about a solution. Okay. So I'll think, okay, this could be the probable solution I can come up to. I can come up with a smart watch. I can come up with a smart iPad. I can come with a smart mobile. There can be so many things I can come up. Okay. From that idea, now I'll move to the prototyping. Okay. So here is the important part. What sir, principal sir also said is the validation stage. So we have many ideas. We identify problems. We see problems. We think this could be probable, could be converted into a product or a service. But before that, prototyping is the validation stage. What we are going to study today in detail. And then we finally test that product. We, like, whatever we prepare the solution demo or the MVP, we go and talk to the customers, and then we show them the demo, and they say, this is good, this is bad, add this, minus this, something like this. Then we come back again to the incubation center, and we again try to modify it, then again go and test, then again come and do the changes. So the process keeps on going until the customers are satisfied and they're ready to pay for your product. So this is in short the design thinking stages. The reason I brought this topic about design thinking is because directly if I take you to the topic of validation, you may be confused. So there are okay. I know when like my screen is visible, I can't see the participant. Okay, students, tell me can you what is innovation for you? Do you think innovation needs any language, or let's assume like if like in parallel you're planning to do an innovation, right? So you need to talk to people, you need to discuss with them. I'm planning an innovation in Mumbai, so I need to talk to people irrespective of the language, right? Whatever language you speak, I speak Marathi, whatever language we speak, irrespective of that, right? Let's assume. So language is very important, right, students? Would you agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah, you can type in the chat box or you can unmute, it's really. Yeah, student, is it yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I would like.
1 minute, madam. Students, please, if it is possible, please switch on your video so that you can
Yes.
interact with madam. This is actually, it's a good talk and it will be benefit for you in future. So please do interact. Don't just blindly sit.
Yes, otherwise you feel like you're just talking to the laptop, Yeah. Yeah, students, you should understand, as a faculty, we love to interact with the students and we love to see your beautiful faces. Otherwise, like we get a feeling you are just talking to the laptop, right? Yeah. I can promise you that I'll definitely add some value in today's session, right? I'll leave food for thought today, definitely. So please interact. Maybe you can unmute yourself. You can talk. You can stop me in between also somewhere if you are confused. I'm really okay with that. You can put up your answers in the chat box. Until you communicate, I won't be able to understand how the session is going on. Right? Yeah. So yeah. So my question I'll repeat again. So students, innovation for innovation we need to communicate. Yes or no? I need to talk with you. You need to talk with me. You need to talk with your faculties, angel investors, everyone. Yes? Agreed? Can you type in the chat box? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. So we'll see a video which gives us the answer. Even I believe before seeing this video, even I believe communication is very important. Verbal communication is very important. We need to communicate. We need to share ideas. We need to discuss. Definitely, it is there. But after seeing this video, my perception was changed. So give me a second. I'll share my. I would like to play a video. So please let me know if the sound and all is audible or I need to change in my settings. Because in Zoom, sometimes we need to change the setting for. Is it audible? Was it audible?
No, ma'am, no.
No? Okay. I think in settings somewhere we need to change these. Now, if I change this setting, you won't be able to hear me. So please kindly reply me in the chat box. Are you able to hear or not? Was it audible? So am I
No,
audible?
not
Yeah.
audible.
No, no. Okay. That's always a problem.
Yes, yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Can students tell me, like, was there any communication? What exactly you saw? Can anyone tell me? What were your observations? No observations? Out of 85 students? Anyone? Did you see a story? Like, we saw a couple coming, so they get along, they marry. So we can see a church also, we can see garden also, right? So they have a baby, we can see the cradle. We could see they are the husband is going for a war. The military people are there. Then he dies away in the war, and the girl is grown up, the baby is grown up, and they go to the graveyard, right? So we can see an amazing story, a beautiful story. It was so captivating. You could see the audience, they were just mesmerized by the text. You could see the panelists, the judges also, they were so much touched. There was not a single communication ki, okay, I'm going for war, let's marry, ki I'll come back from war, your father is not there, let's go to the graveyard. There's no communication at all, right? Only through the shadow. It's called it's one of the most famous act in USA, the shadow theater group it is called. Okay, so this is the heights of creativity. You don't need to communicate to come out with creativity. Creativity can come out in amazing ways. Yeah, so let me share my screen. So student, have you heard about, before moving to the validation part, it's very important to understand what do you mean by value proposition canvas. So student, have you heard about this word? What is value proposition canvas? Anyone? No reply means either it has to be yes or it has to be no. Yes, no one? No one would like to reply? Are you aware of the concept of value proposition canvas, or have you prepared any of the canvas? Have you studied somewhere, right? Okay. Okay, no. Okay, fine. Thank you, Akhil, for replying. Okay. So we'll try to see what is value proposition canvas. It's very important to understand before we move to the validation part. So again, a very small video we'll try to see and try to understand. And then I've got many examples of what my students have prepared the canvas. Just I think it's not audible. That's the problem again. I have to change.
Remember the value proposition canvas? We saw it in the previous session on customer segment. The value proposition section is shown on the left side of the value proposition canvas. It describes the value you offer your customers, and it can be broken down into 3 parts: products or services, pain relievers, and gain creators. Let's go through them one by one. Products and services refers to all the products and services you offer. It is this that helps your customer complete their jobs. You must understand that products and services do not create value on their own, but only when they are related to customer jobs, gains, or pains. Not all products and services will be equally important for the customer. Some may be essential, while others may be simply nice to have. Next, what are pain relievers? Pain relievers describe how products and services alleviate specific customer pains. They reduce or eliminate some of the things that annoy customers before, during, or after they try to complete a job. It is not possible for a product to deal with all the pains in a customer's list. Great pain relievers focus on the important pains and deal with them extremely well. So, what are gain creators? Gain creators describe how exactly your products and services create gains for the customer. They describe how the product and services will produce outcomes and benefits that the customer expects, desires, or would be surprised by. As with pain relievers, it is not possible for a product to deal with all the gains in a customer's list. Effective gain creators focus on the important gains that make a real difference to the customer. The products and services, pain relievers and gain creators together constitute your value proposition. So after you create your value proposition, you need to assess if it is a good fit with your customer segment. So what does fit mean? Fit is achieved when the customer gets excited about a value proposition that meets their needs. This happens when the value proposition addresses the important jobs, pains, and gains of the customer segment. Great value propositions are always about making the right choices about which jobs, pains, and gains to focus on and which to let go of. Fit is hard to find and maintain, and it's probably the very core of value proposition design. Now that you have learned what goes into creating the value proposition, let us see how to put it on the value proposition canvas. Let us continue with the example of the online wedding planning platform to create a value proposition. Since we have identified the jobs, pains, and gains for couples, we need to create a value proposition to address the most important jobs, pains, and gains. Remember, the value proposition consists of products and services, pain relievers, and gain creators. So, what products and services would help couples plan their wedding? First, online wedding planning services made available via an app to help organize the various aspects of the wedding. Second, an efficient person, a wedding planner who will take care of all the running around and nitty-gritties. What do you think would act as pain relievers for such couples? Service management that enables various contracts to be signed online, price comparison, and quality assurance for various wedding related services. And what about gain creators? Saving time, saving money, access to top-notch customer service and resources all in one place would be very beneficial to couples planning their wedding. So now that you have learned the concept and seen an example, go ahead and create your value.
Was it clear, students? What do you mean by value proposition? Canvas? Until you speak, I won't come to know. If you don't speak, I assume you know everything, right? So I'll come up with an example, We can see this is a value proposition prepared by one of our students. Okay. So the value proposition, now let's assume you have an idea. Let's assume one of the student observe that when the faculty come to the class, he or she has to bring the, cell phone. Then we carry the pen, we carry the pen drive, and maybe the cupboard keys because important documents are there. So when I'm coming to the class, I'm carrying so many things. I'm carrying my specs cover also, so many things. So student observe, let us make some very interesting cover, which would have a fold, a sort of a socket over here for the pen drive, for maybe the pen, or maybe for the key socket. Is there something very interesting he feels, let me come up with that. So this is just an imagination. He just imagined this is the problem since 2 years, 3 years is identified. Every teacher, is going through this problem. We have to carry the file also for the attendance. All the faculty colleagues would agree with me over here. And we have to carry sometime books, the assignments, so many things. So to make a life easy, the student feel, this is a very good market. Let's assume there would be nearly lakhs of faculty working in across India. So even if I am able to target 10%, I would be getting a good market share. So he plans to come up with this thing. So what he'll do, first thing, he'll prepare a value proposition canvas. So if you see the right side, my right side of is the customer part. Here what we are doing, we are writing the pains. Now what do you mean by pains? The problems I as a customer is facing. So what is the problem? So can you see this? This is a different example, not enough income. So here I'll write down the list of the problems. I have to carry the cell phone, carry the pen, carry the pen drive, maybe carry money also, maybe wallet or something, money also. So this all the pains, the customer, what are the problems the customer is facing? That is called as the pain. Okay. Now opposite is the gain. Now what the customer is looking forward, the customer wants something which instead of carrying 5-6 things, I can carry all this thing in one thing. So this would be the gains the customer is expecting. Okay. The pains, out against the pains we come up with the gains, and this finally the jobs. The customer want all these pains to be satisfied. So we say this is the job the customer is looking forward. So this circle is always related to what the customer is looking forward, or what the customer is expecting out of that product, or if it's in service. If it's an app, we call it a service. If it's a physical product, we call it a product, right? So whatever it is. So these are the customer block. So based on the customer block, now what would happen? The company, now let's assume you are planning to come up with this product. So you would be coming up with this block, okay? So against the pain, what I need to relieve the pain, I need to reduce the pain. So not enough income over there, so affordable price. Can you see? My first point should answer my first point over here. Not enough income, affordable price. Last time preparation problem, new update regular. Fear of failure, timely feedback, So my every pain should be answered over here, but sometimes it's not possible to answer all the pain, okay? So this pain block is giving me the relieving over here. In the similar manner, the customer is looking for the gain. So what I need to create the gain or elevate the gain. I need to relieve the pain. I need to elevate the gain, right? So this goes simultaneously over here. In this customer job, whatever the company.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, your screen is not sharing.
Oh, so sorry. You should have told me like, yeah, it's okay. Happens. A second, I'll share. Really sorry. I thought this happens in the online all the time. Okay. Now it's visible, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Now you'll understand better. I'm really sorry for that. Yeah. So I was talking this, the right hand side, this is the customer part. So you need to understand what I was telling about this pain block. So this pain is going to give me the relief, right? So you as a company need to relieve the pain of the customers, okay? Pain has to be relieved, right? We say I've got a headache, so we take Dolo or any paracetamol to relieve that headache, right? So pain always has to be relieved, and gain always has to be created or elevated. We can use both the words, okay? So so whatever pains, as I said, the customer is facing, we'll write in this block. So against that pain, the answer would be here. So, okay, I have identified the faculties are facing these problems. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, all the pains. So again, that what answers I'm able to give as a company, what product I'm coming. Maybe there is a pen slot is this. Okay, pen slot given. So you say the next pen is the key slot. So let's assume that I'm not able to give the key slot. It's difficult, with this. Let's assume this with this of the space, I need to have a pen slot, I need to have a pen drive slot, I need to have a key slot, or maybe other more slot, So maybe key slot I'm not giving. So maybe the faculty are facing, the customer is facing 5 pain, but I'm able to solve only 4 pain. It's okay. As a company, you have to, because cost is involved, many factors are involved. In the similar manner, whatever gains they are looking forward, they're going to create. Okay, I'm going to create that gain. And this customer job is what? What exactly you combine pain and gain, and you come to a customer job. Finally, what the customer is looking forward, and then you as a company say, okay, can you see student customer job is you need to perform well, unorganized source of income. These are the jobs they want to be done. So the company says, okay, online availability of quiz and questions. Few more example you can see. These are prepared by my students. Can you see? So the pain reliever is there. See, traveling can be exhausting. So we say to solve the problem of long waiting hours. Time consuming. We say the customer is saying it's time consuming, whatever is the problem. So we say online service relieving the customer from traveling stress. Okay, and then the gains time is saved. So they say 24/7 availability of the therapist. Money is saved, so they say, okay, counseling session, something like this. Okay, and finding a psychologist or therapist is the job they are looking forward. So the company is saying, okay, we'll give you easy access. We have got large number of psychologists whom you can connect to. In the similar manner, can you see more value proposition? This all are prepared by the students, right? So base, we identify the problem, we prepare the problem statement, and then we prepare the value proposition canvas. Am I making sense, student? Can you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so as a group also, when you go back to your class as a group also, you can think about anyone has got any idea, all this value proposition chart is available. You can go through that. Can you see this is the blank chart was available and student have just put a sticky notes, right? So you can do that. You never know, a small idea can lead to a good startup. Okay. Have you heard about Airbnb, students? Airbnb? Anyone? Have you all used the service of Airbnb? Have you used anyone or have you heard about Airbnb? Yes, no? Okay. No answers means I should assume no, right? So Airbnb, see, we have got this hotels and this thing we go to hotels, and let's assume I'm a frequent traveler and I don't want to spend huge amount of money on hotels and all this, but I need a good place also. See, everything costs money. So let's assume I'm going to Paris. I need a good place to stay, but I don't want to spend also. Is it possible, students, if I don't want to spend also and I want a good 3-star, 4-star facility? In normal situation, we'll say, if Airbnb was not there, we'll say, okay, yes, it's not possible. If you really want to avail good facilities, good location and all, so you need to spend money. But Airbnb made that possible. So the story is 2 students in USA, they were falling shortage of money, so because in US, we know after 16, 18 years, students try to earn their own money and, they try to fund themselves. So these 2 students were shortage of money, so they were thrown out of the PG, and they were literally staying on the streets. And during that time, there was some huge event going to be organized in their city. So they thought people like us would love to come to the city to witness that football match or whatever was the match. So why not to do something? Let's do something. So they both of the friends brainstormed and they said, let us find places, for example, let's assume I have a 3 BHK in Mumbai and I've got one room is always empty. So I feel instead like my room is empty, why not to earn some money? So I'll do what? I'll lend that one room to travelers or any people. Okay, so they can use that one room and they can use my kitchen also. Okay, so that is the Airbnb. So in that way, they found places and where travelers and students and all this thing could afford to stay in that one room. Now, when I'm talking about cost cutting or saving money, so I don't want to spend money all the time eating out. I want to cook my own food, the basic food and all. So they allow you to use their kitchen. I've used Airbnb many time, especially abroad when traveling to Europe, and it's amazing, believe me. The location is good, you know, one room you get at a what 4-star would offer you. You get that one room, you get the kitchen. So if you're traveling for 10-12 days, you can cook all your omelets and you can have your tea and coffee, your basic breakfast, right? So it's really, you know, it's really pockets friendly, Airbnb. So now that Airbnb is listed company, more than $500 million. So you can imagine a small idea. Maybe after this lecture, you never know, maybe there would be students who come up with any good idea. You can think, you can brainstorm, maybe not right away. Maybe you will feel you're studying, maybe after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the line, there is no harm in that, you know. We'll move on to the next topic. So yeah, so that was the first step, value proposition. As of now, like if you've got any idea, you need to, I'm sorry, I'm nearly ready to rush because there are many topics in 11:22. But that was very important to understand value proposition. So now we've identified the problems of the customer, the pains, the gains, what the customer is looking forward. Now, can we prepare a business model? This is called the Ashmorea's Lean Canvas. So you will Google it, you will find it, you know. So we try to identify the problem. So at one page, you know, one sheet, I can see what is my problem, what is my solution, what is my unfair advantage, through what I'm going to market my product, what would be my revenue stream, through what I would be earning money, how much cost would be involved. So the second step after value proposition is your preparing your business model. This again are examples prepared by this. All this Lean Canvas have been prepared by my students. I'll quickly go through that. Yeah. Now I'll come to the main topic, that is validation. Now let's assume you identified the problem, you prepared your business plan you know, every step you have done. So we'll move on to the important part of validation, how to validate or your prototyping to be converted into a possible product or services. Okay. So there's something called as blue ocean strategy that leads to 4-action framework, and that's also leads to strategy canvas. I think students might have not heard there is something called as a blue ocean strategy and there's something called as a red ocean strategy. Have you heard about this, students, anywhere? Blue ocean strategy or red ocean strategy? Anywhere, have you heard this word? Have you come across, you heard, you have, you know, if you've seen any interview of any startups, entrepreneurs, anyone? Okay, fine, no worries. Okay, no worries. So we'll try to see what is blue ocean strategy. It would also explain you the concept of 4-action framework and strategy canvas, which is the first step of your validation. What exactly do you mean by validation? Okay, now this is the idea. I observed the pains and gains, everything. I came up with this possible solution. Now I need to validate, is this going to work in the market? Is this going to be profitable? Is this the right idea? So I need to validate my idea. So that's the first step, is blue ocean strategy. Give me a second, I'll share and we'll see your video. So it will give you a better concept. Again,
You must be thinking, what do blue oceans have to do with entrepreneurship and value proposition? Simply stated, it is a wide, calm, deep, unexplored space. It represents an unknown or new market space which has little or no competition. Demand is created and not fought over. On the other hand, red oceans represent rivalry, cutthroat competition, and limited prospects for profit and growth. Due to competition, the oceans turn bloody, and hence the term red oceans. Blue oceans provide abundant opportunity for growth and profits. It is based on principles and theories presented in Blue Ocean Strategy, a very influential article by Chan Kim and Rene Mabo. According to the Blue Ocean Strategy, the best way to grow is to look for new market space that is not crowded, rather than trying to get a bigger share of the existing market space. As existing markets get crowded, products become similar to one another, resulting in extreme competition and lesser profits. The way out is to look for new customers by offering customers a leap in value. A common mistake entrepreneurs make is to think that by adding some new technology to the product or service, they can create an effective value proposition. But this is not about new technology. Even though new technology is often used, it is not the most important thing. What is important is to identify the right mix of benefits for your product and services that will address the pain and create gains for your customers. Done well, it can result in existing competition becoming irrelevant for your venture. I'll now take you through an exercise to refine your value proposition. It will help you come up with the products and services that are sufficiently different from those being offered by established players in the market. Although this exercise is primarily meant to refine your value proposition, sometimes the changes can result in a product that is very different from the one originally visualized. The main idea is to map the existing market dynamics to find new space in the market. Let's look at the steps to refine your.
Yeah, before moving to the next step, that is the 4 action framework, we'll discuss what we mean by blue ocean and red ocean. Like now the whatever, let's assume, take the example, I thought to come up with a cover, right? So I need to identify this product would be in red ocean or blue ocean. Red ocean would be where, let's assume that people are already there. This idea, having a pen drive slot, having such slot, pen slot and, key slot and all this thing. Let's assume there are already players in the market. There are companies in the market. Now, if just little changes here and there, what happens, I've always seen whenever we tell student to identify a problem, they'll identify whatever existing product they are using. They'll say, we'll just add new technology and we'll give to the customer, because the customer is not ready to adapt to change so easily. Okay. That is the reason many of the startup closes in an initial year of 2 years, right? There's a huge data which says 60% of startup close in the first 2 years itself, because we really don't do the research properly. Okay, so let's assume, but still, I know there are many players, but I feel that my product is very good, something very different. And that is the second problem with, like student or any startup company or any entrepreneur, is that they love their product. They love their product, and so much love with their product, they feel this is the best. Yes, like, because it's like a kid to them, a startup is like a baby to a entrepreneur. So he feels, yes, this is my product, this is the best thing, I'm offering the best. It's not that. What is the customer really looking for that product? Why Google Glasses are failure? Do you think Google company would have not done research? They would have spent millions and millions rupees on research, but still Google Glasses were failure, right? That's a different story, only we'll talk some other day, right? So you need to understand my product is going to be in red ocean. Let's assume it is in red ocean, means cutthroat competitions. Everywhere you're trying to sell this in 200 rupee, just keeping a margin of 30 rupee, 170 rupee, something it's costing you, and you're selling in 200 rupee, but you come to know somebody is already selling in 170 rupees. So you can't go below that. So again, you're selling in 170 or maybe 190. You're reducing your profit, and then you find somebody selling in 150 already. People are getting from China and selling in more cost, cheaper things, right? So this is called as red ocean, where there is cutthroat competition. You're fighting every time. Let's assume you come up with a coffee shop. So how many coffee shops would be there in any location? I've never been to Kerala, so I really don't know. But in Mumbai, you go every 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, there would be a coffee shop. So what is that unique thing? What is the uniqueness in your coffee shop? You know, it's coffee is same. You go to CCD, you go to coffee house, any coffee, this thing, its coffee is same. So it depends on what you are giving something different. So that such products or services come into red ocean strategy, cutthroat competition. Now I create a new product where let's assume Airbnb is a blue ocean, comes into blue ocean strategy. They don't have any competition. Yes, they do have competitions. Who are the competitors for them? All the 3 stars, 4 star, 5 stars. Okay. But they can't match up what price the Airbnb is giving. Right. So Airbnb don't have any competition. It's in blue ocean it's into blue ocean. So you need to identify where your product fits into, whether it fits into blue ocean or whether it fits into red ocean. If it fits into blue ocean, your life is sorted. Initial few years, you know, you're going to gain huge profit and all. Maybe competition would definitely come in because gradually people would copy you. That's very common. Here you launch anything and within a few days, you know, your idea get copied, right? That's the reason we do patent, and I think that's the second session, intellectual property rights, we'll be talking, the speaker is going to talk about, right? So you gradually blue ocean also moves to red ocean, but it takes time, you know. So by the time the first mover, you earn the benefit of all those first mover benefits, right? So you need to identify your product is fitting into blue ocean or red ocean. So this is the first step of your validation. Now we'll see how to refine your, let's assume I've identified it's in red ocean. Let's assume that I've identified it's in red ocean. Now what should I do? So I'll follow the next step that is called the 4-action framework. Student, is it clear till here? Is it too fast, too slow? Anyone?
Clear, ma'am.
Your value proposition. The first step, define the competition. Identify 3 to 6 existing players who are your main competition. Be careful to identify those players who will be fighting for the same niche. In case you have too many competitors, shortlist the ones who sell more in your niche. You might feel that you have no competition. Sadly, that is almost never true. If there is no similar product in the market, the competition is the substitute product the customer would have chosen in the absence of the product. Let me give you an example. Imagine a new product, a front door lock with a deadbolt that can be unlocked with a mobile phone using NFC technology. This will be a new product for most markets with no competition at all, right? But the competition in this case would be other digital door locking devices or simply even other old-fashioned padlocks. Anything that can lock your door is competition. So this is a mistake I don't want you to make. There is always some competition. In the second step, identify important product benefits. These can be pain relievers or game creators. You have already identified them in the last session. Shortlist 4 to 10 that are the most important to customers. The right way to do this is to merge the list of game creators and pain relievers and prioritize the combined list. Often, most of them are intuitive, but asking a number of customers is the best way to identify the most interesting benefits. You will now realize that you have completed these first 2 steps in your assignment. So let's move on to the third step, which is plotting the strategy canvas. The canvas is a simple graph with an x-axis and a y-axis. Along the x-axis, you will plot the product benefits, and along the y-axis, you will plot the competitors. The competitors are shown as lines according to how they fare against those benefits. So plot the strategy of your competitors. Now your assignment will come in handy. Use the information you had gathered to plot how the competitors fared against the benefits on the x-axis. You can either use numbers on the y-axis or use words like high, low, medium for the benefits. It is not always possible to put a number equivalent or a level to, let's say, benefits like taste or color. In these cases, use qualitative labels like red, green, blue for color and labels like sweet, sour, tangy for taste to complete this graph. What this graph or canvas shows is the customer perception, or what we may call a perceptual map. Different points on it represent different perceptions. In short, you need to put the benefits on the x-axis, put the competitors on the y-axis, plot the perceptual map of the perceived performance of the competitors for each of these benefits. The last step is applying the 4 actions framework. This sounds complex, but it's just a framework that helps you decide how to differentiate yourself from competition. The 4 actions are reduce,
So we saw the concept. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So there was something he spoke about the strategy canvas. So what is a strategy canvas? You know, on x-axis, what we draw on an x-axis? Is it benefits or competitor? What was there on x-axis? X-axis, we always draw benefits, and y-axis, we draw competitors. Let's assume I'm coming up with a coffee shop. So what I'll do on my y-axis, I'll write all the names of the coffee shop or the competitors in my location. Let's assume I'm coming up, like I live in a place called as Mulund in Mumbai. So let's assume I'm planning to open a coffee shop in Mulund. So what I'll do, I'll try to identify all the coffee shops within the range of 3 to 4 kilometers, because people don't mind going 3 to 4 kilometers for a good location or for a good ambience or for a good coffee. So I'll try to identify. So let's assume I identify CCD and the Coffee Di Bella, or maybe more Y coffee shop, Z coffee shop. So on my y-axis, I'm going to plot all the names of that coffee shop. And on my x-axis, I'm going to write the benefits they are giving. Benefits means like what is the price of the coffee? The price is low, the ambience is good, where is the location, you know, what are the options they are giving. With coffee, they are offering sandwiches, burgers and all. They offering dessert, you know. So the benefits that particular coffee shop is giving, I would be drawing on the x-axis, and then I'll draw a perceptual map. So it's going to give me an idea, where do I stand? That would also give me an idea, which from that map, you can make out a niche of the market. I'll share one strategy canvas video, which would give you a fair idea how to draw that.
Parties, smoke zones, build rapport with bosses and super bosses.
When Cirque du Soleil was developing their shows, they had a couple of goals in mind. Number one, they wanted to create a circus-like experience, but with a unique twist on it that was at a level where people would feel more comfortable paying a little higher premium for it. At the same time, they wanted to be able to deliver the show at a lower cost structure than the traditional circus shows. So taking those goals in mind, we mapped out the environment as they saw it back when they were developing this. And the first thing.
Yeah. So this is a strategy canvas. What we do here, can you see the benefits? This is an example of Cirque du Soleil. This was a circus, right? In UK, this was a famous circus, but then it, after some time, even in India, we had a circus and all this thing. If you remember, maybe you were small, too young and all this thing, but you can ask your parents. There was a time where circus was the only entertainment before all this social media, like we got introduced to social media. So in the similar manner, then like even abroad, circus was the only entertainment way. So then happened like all the this social people, all the they started complaining the animal cruelty and all those things happened. So the circus was banned because it was huge cruelty on the animals, right? And it was a huge cost on the performers also because they have to jump here and there. So gradually it died away. Okay, the circus died away. Now this company was used, so they wanted to reinvent into something, So the same thing, they reinvented themselves. When we'll see the 4-action framework, we'll see how they have reinvented themselves. So they minus, so whatever was there, like the animals and all this thing, they minus them, they reinvented themselves and they call themselves as, entertainers, human entertainers and all this thing. So now suppose I'm also planning to come up in this similar field. So what I'll do, so when Cirque du Soleil was planning to, reinvent themselves, so they tried to write all the benefits the other competitors were giving. So can you see on the x-axis, I'm going to write the price, who are the star performers, they had animal shows were there, concession was there, multiple shows were run, humor, fun and humor was there, what was the theme? So they tried to write the benefits on the x-axis, on the y-axis, they wrote the name of the competitors. So can you see, then you plot the graph. So if let's assume this is the competitor A, this is competitor B, the red line, and the dotted red line is competitor C. Now this strategy canvas would give me a picture where I can fit my product or service. Can I see a gap over here, students? Can you see where my cursor is moving? So I can see a gap over here. So maybe my competitors are not, focusing on theme. They're not giving refined watching environment. There's no multiple production is there. Artistic music and dance is missing. So what they did, this blue line is Cirque du Soleil. So right, what they did, this was missing. Can you see this was missing? So they focus on that. Can you see this line? The competitors were missing and they focus on that. Okay. And the competitors were more into star performers. As I said, star performers, we were risking the life, animal shows were getting banned and all these things. So what the competitors were high on that. So they reduce themselves over there. So this is the way you can find yourself where you fit into the market. So see, before drawing this line for the Cirque du Soleil, so there was a gap over here. So they made their market over here. So they knew this is the few things we should not focus, we should reduce. And these are the few things we should rise, we should add more on to. So in this way, you can identify where you can fit. So this is an example of strategy canvas. So value proposition, then you move to business, the business plan or the lean canvas we prepare. Then we did what, students? What was before strategy canvas? My students are sleeping. Yes, anyone? Anyone? What we did before strategy canvas? No one? Fine. We'll move. Students have, I think, decided not to speak today. So that is the blue ocean strategy we spoke. We need to identify my product or service will be coming into blue ocean or red ocean. and then I can move to the strategy canvas. Is it clear till here, students? Yes or no? Because then we'll see. Maybe these things, I understand because you all have not studied this topic and you're hearing all the concepts, maybe a little difficult to understand, but when we start practically doing, everything is interrelated. We need to identify a problem and then we move on step by step, so it becomes very easy. So we'll move on to the topic. The next validation part is called as from blue ocean, red ocean. Let's assume I've identified it's in blue ocean. Let's say red ocean. In red ocean, then I try to make the strategy canvas. Then I try to make the 4 action framework. And then I make my solution demo. What do you mean by solution demo? We'll see that. After solution demo, we'll see what is called as minimum viable product. And then we'll also see what is prototyping. These are the 3 parts left to be discussed. Sorry. We'll quickly see the 4 action framework. And then we'll see the
eliminate, create, and raise. Reduce refers to benefits that can be reduced well below industry standards. Eliminate refers to those benefits the industry takes for granted and can be eliminated. Create refers to those benefits that can be created that the industry has never offered. Raise refers to those benefits that can be raised well above the industry standards. It is not necessary to apply all the 4 actions, but only those actions which make sense in your context. It refers to those benefits.
Actually, we are running short of time, so I'll quickly go through that. When I've observed my strategy canvas is ready. So I'll do what? If you remember that the strategy canvas, there was something animal show and all these things. So they reduce the animal show. They've reduced the artist, okay, and they have eliminated animal show. So what is there my competitor is offering, which the customers are not ready to buy. So you can say in short, the weaknesses or the drawbacks in my competitor's product or service, I can reduce and eliminate. Either I'll reduce it or I'll eliminate it. And what I can add, what my competitor is not giving to the customers, that can be an added value to my product. So that is something called as create. I'll add something add to my product. So if you see the Circular de Soleil example, they bought a singing artist. So in the circus, there were performers, artists, who used to jump from here and there and all gymnastics and all they used to do. So they have eliminated that part and they have created what? Artists who can sing and perform on stage, so different act theaters and all these things they created, and they raised something. They raised their circus by adding few more things. So this is called as 4 action framework. We normally do after the strategy canvas. Now we'll move on to the topic of solution demo. I know in 1.5 hours to quickly go from ideation to prototyping is difficult, but we have to see.
Demo as the smallest possible solution that can stand in for the actual solution for testing. Nothing less or more, just the core component. You also don't want to invest a lot in building a full-fledged product or service that nobody wants. Instead, create a demo or a mock-up of your solution and test run it with your customers. This is a lean startup technique which helps you validate your solution. Now, I'm going to give you a few tips for building a solution demo. First, Don't make a mock-up or demo so simple that it is only an image. Keeping your demo as simple as a wireframe or sketches won't really give the customer a real sense of the solution. For example, if you are developing a website, create your mockup as a website instead of creating a Photoshop image of the website. 2, don't build an unnecessarily flashy demo. Building a demo often makes us want to be creative. While a flashy demo is quite effective in making the sale, it makes the job of the implementation team quite difficult. So that's why you need to make sure that the mockup is something that can indeed be created in reality. Imagine creating a flash video with fancy transitions showing off the website's user experience and then realizing you can't reproduce the same transition effect in your solution, the website. Third, build it quickly using your own resources as far as possible so that you can quickly develop another version of the demo for testing. Creating a complicated mockup which requires hiring resources can actually increase the turnaround time required to make the necessary feedback changes. For example, if you complete the website using hired experts and then take it to your customer for feedback, it'll be too late, resulting in more user feedback. Fourth, build as many mockups as you need. Let's say your solution solves more than one problem. For example, your website helps customers upload the pictures and also find pictures they can buy. Then you need to create 2 mockups, one for each requirement. Lastly, do not use dummy data like the lorem ipsum text. Instead, use real-looking data that will not only help you lay out your screen, but will support your solution narrative. For example, let's say you have a photograph of children playing in the park for sale on your website. Then name the image as Happy Children in the Park instead of lorem ipsum or something untitled. Building mockups this way lets you test your solution and show something very close to what will be delivered.
Sorry.
Ma'am, you're not audible, ma'am.
Now am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So in solution demo, what I'll do, yeah, I was saying this example. Now, if I continue that example, I observe to come up with a phone cover, for the faculties. So I'll do what? I'll try to find an old phone cover in my house and try to find a key slot or something and try to make out of it, or maybe maybe I'll take up some what we say, the crayons, we use the kids use normally in our workshop. We do give that, all the crayons and all those things, the plastic material and the clay, yes. So I'll take my old mobile cover and try to put a clay and try to put see how it's looking. Should I put it over here, should I put it over here, try to design it. So this is called a solution demo. Okay, so with whatever resources you have got, you should try to make your own solution demo. Just imagine, instead of doing this thing, I outsource this work to a company. I'll tell them, okay, do this thing. So what would happen? They'll borrow my idea, they'll copy my idea, and they'll sell it as their own idea. This is one possibility is there. Second possibility is that it would be very expensive. Let's assume I spend some 5,000, 10,000 on that, and then later I realize I don't want to continue this. This is not going to solve the customer problem. I need to modify my this thing solution demo. So again, I'm going to invest. So it's always at solution demo stage. What we do, whatever resources you have got, we use frames also. When Google glasses were made, so they made what? So they made with the frame. He used his own father's old frame, and like he tried to put up glass and tried to put up some wire and something. What was wire was lying. A student came up with that, and he with some wire and all this thing, he tried to see how does a Google frame look like, something like this. So this is called a solution demo, right? I think we don't have time, but I'll quickly go through MVP and prototyping. Now, next step is your MVP. We call it minimum viable product. Now, I have made this thing old, whatever the old cover was there. I bought the clay, I bought all the sockets, and I try to make it. Now, I'll try to make in a better way, so I'll try to invest little money in this, and I'll try to do the prototyping. If it's a physical product, we do prototyping. If it's a services, like let's assume it's an app or something like that, we do the MVP. We say minimum viable product. So what I'll do, I'll maybe on website, I'll prepare my company website or something, an app. I'll prepare a demo app, I'll see how it look like. I'll tell my friend, give your feedback. I'll tell my relatives to give your feedback. They'll give their feedback, so I'll try to make how my app would look like. So using some free versions of software or free something, I'll try to use and make my MVP, minimum viable product, so I'll take to the customer and I'll tell them, okay, this is the app I'm trying to launch. Would you like to buy it? How much money would you like to buy it? Something like that. Okay. So MVP we do for the services, and then the similar manner we do prototyping for the product, the physical product. Okay, solution demo is common, MVP is for services, and prototyping is for the physical product. So I'll do what? I'll now invest some money. Now, let's assume there's an incubation center in my college. So I'll go to my college and I'll tell them, I'll present my idea. If they like the idea, they like to invest, they like to put some money in this thing. So now I'll get a real mobile cover. I'll get the socket, get it from some technician or something. If I know, I'll do it myself, or get it from someone, maybe the socket. So it would give me an idea how my product would look like. So my prototyping is ready. Now I'll go to the market and I'll try to test it. It's the last stage. I'll test I've validated now, since I was validating my product, now this is the final stage of validation. I would test in the market. I feel it's looking very beautiful. It's very good. My friend said very good. No, but who are the real customer who are ready to pay me? So I'll do the testing. Testing is the last phase of your validation. I'll take this thing, go to the market, random customers, not my friends and relatives, because friends and relatives may be biased. Okay. So I'll just go to the market, maybe to a coffee shop, and I'll tell them, I'm planning to come up with this cover. Would you like to buy? How much would you like to pay for this thing? Right, and then whatever is his feedback, I'll take the feedback, write the feedback, then again go to the next customer. At least I'm going to talk to 100 customers. Minimum 100 people I'm going to talk to them, and they'll, based on their feedback, I'll come back again to my incubation center. Again, I'll modify. Somebody says, it should not be here, it should be here, it should be here, something, whatever the feedback they have given. I take good care of return. I write the feedback carefully, come back and try to implement all those feedback as much as possible. It's not possible to implement all the feedback, whatever possible, you try to implement it. And again, you go for testing. It's not that your work is done. You feel 100 people said you have implemented and it's done. No, you don't. And over there, then you again go for testing. Then again, you see what are the feedback. So the process goes on until the customers are satisfied. They really feel the product is worth buying and people are ready to pay you. This was the last step of validation. I really wanted to, discuss more, but I know, see, like I had some examples of minimum viable products, some MVP, so I would finally conclude, like innovation leads to design thinking. From there, we move to value proposition. We saw business model, and validation we do through blue ocean. strategy, canvas, 4-action framework, solution demo, MVP, prototyping. And if everything is done systematically, nobody can stop you to grow in your life. I'm open to questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I request all the students, all the participants, please respond to the session. The session is open for questionnaire. I think, ma'am, many students are viewing it in YouTube also. So
Okay.
I think I will check for the comments there also. So meanwhile, the students in the Zoom can respond. Any questions or any queries, please?
Maybe they've not studied this topic, so it was maybe little heavy for them, sir. Right on suddenly learning so many concepts of value proposition, design thinking, and then business model, and
Maybe that may be the reason, ma'am. They are not used to it, but
Yes.
they have to be. They have to be. Now the era demands it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the need of the hour, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll share my contact details if it's okay with you, sir, with the
Yes,
students.
sure, sure. Not an issue, not at all.
Yeah, sir. So maybe once, I've given them food for thought. So maybe, maybe whenever they are ready to take this and, they've got any doubts, anything they need my help, I'm always there for my students.
Okay. Students, please note that ma'am has shared her contact details in the chat box. Please make a note of it. Any questions, please? Okay, Dr. Kadarvel, are you there? Kadar
Yes,
sir?
yes, Akash, I completed my exam. I'm hearing what madam has said. For the past 10 minutes, I'm here. I was watching her on YouTube. Now I came to Zoom, actually. Can you able to hear me?
Yeah, yes, sir. We can.
Madam, thank you. I have seen your speech first in beginning in the Zoom. Then I had exam duty. Then I switched over to YouTube. I was watching your program and some videos what you have shown in YouTube. It was really good, madam. Like what you, hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah, like what you told, it is new to students, especially some of the first years are attending, no, madam.
Yes,
so they are
sir.
not aware of that innovation, etc., and startup
sir.
and final prototype. And definitely, yeah, in quarter 4, we are also planning this type of seminar. So definitely, future if it goes on giving more related concepts like this, definitely in future, definitely they will be aware of all these startups and prototypes, etc., etc. Most of them are watching in YouTube simultaneously.
Right.
Yes, madam. And thank you very much for your gracious presence. Over to you, Akash, sir.
Thank you, sir. And my sincere thanks to Jyoti ma'am for conducting such a wonderful session, ma'am. Thank you so much. On behalf of National College of Pharmacy and all the students, I extend my gratitude to you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure is mine, sir. Thank you so much for inviting. Thank you, sir.
Madam, afternoon we have one more session by Shafiq sir. By 1:30, please, we are requesting you to join if you are free, madam.
Sure, sir, I'll join. Really, I'll
Thank
join.
you. Thank you.
sir.
1:30 to 2:30 more.
Sure,
Okay,
sir.
madam. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you all. Thank you all the participants for joining this webinar. And also I request all the participants to join the next session, which will be starting at 1:30 p.m. And the feedback link will be provided in the Zoom platform and in the chat box, and also in the WhatsApp group of the registered participants. And e-certificates will be provided to all of them. Thank you.
If they are attending both the session only, e-certificates will be provided. For the kind attention of students, those attending both the session, the link will be provided to all of you by 3 o'clock, not now.
Oh yeah. Yes, by 3 o'clock.
Yeah, the link will be provided by 3 o'clock. Those are attending 2 sessions, you will get e-certificates. And thank